So Duke Geofré is dead, and long live Duke Geofré. Hi and welcome to my storytelling, role-playing Crusader Kings channel. This is my weekend content where I am storytelling and role-playing with in the Iberian Struggle with the Fate of Iberia DLC. My overarching goal is to achieve conciliation and after that the détente ending. And it's proving really hard mostly because I am role-playing. So that means that there are a lot of stuff you can do to get progress towards the end you strive for. But I will only do stuff that I think that my character would do, that is in accordance with his personality and also in accordance with the story I'm telling. So actually I don't have much hope of us catching up. Hostilities in the lead with the gap is more than 100, and it has increased since last I took a look at this. So we really need to do some serious stuff if we are going to get ahead. The thing that you will get most progress for is release an involved ruler from your prison. So you either need to abduct someone or capture someone in battle and then release them without demanding ransom. That will give a huge boost to conciliation. To be honest, I don't really enjoy playing after these mechanics, but I am committed to doing this here, and I hope that if you're watching that you can enjoy my suffering and my struggle. I suppose it's fitting because it is the Iberian Struggle. So it should be a struggle, right? And it is for me, because generally I like a more loose playstyle where I just let things happen and go from there. So we will have to see what kind of a man Duke Geofré is. He is vengeful, compassionate and temperate. Especially vengeful and compassionate will be a challenge to reenact. How do you take revenge in a compassionate way? I hope I will have some situations where we'll have to consider this. It will make for interesting storytelling. He's also one-legged and a good siege commander, so he won't be on the front line with his sword drawn, but he will probably, if we go to war, be there ready to oversee sieges when we have them. So I will continue as Duke Geofré here. In Duke Geofré II's council we have this Bishop Radulf. He's a decent bishop. He's brave, vengeful and lustful man, so remains to be seen if he's gonna play some part in our story. But there we have him. And as Chancellor we have Gunnar Sterki. He's the son of Tordor. He was an important man for our story when we played as Geoffrey's father. I think it was in our first episode he came to our court and people wanted me to execute him because he was a Viking raider. But we instead made him a knight and we made him a marshal. And he has been important for the story because he's one of the persons that has shown our former Duke that if people come from far across the other side of the continent and they have a different faith and a vastly different culture than ours, we can still be friends with them, we can learn from them and benefit from them, and we can cooperate and live together. So that's one of the reasons why Duke Geofré here made it his life mission to strive for conciliation. And now we have his son here. He keeps the Norse faith in his heart, but he has converted to Christianity when growing up here amongst Christians. And he is now a chancellor, and he's a good chancellor. I hope he will have children because he has this robust trait and he's, like his father, a great fighter. And he's married to Hippolyta here, who is an Amazonian woman. So I'm really hoping and looking forward to see what the third generation Sterki will be able to achieve in the future. As our marshal we have Jitei Festic here. he is my sister and currently my heir as well. She is our court tutor. She was also important for her father. She's an intelligent and an astute intellectual character and a really good court tutor. And she is married to this man. He hasn't really made a mark on our story yet, but he's a Croatian, great fighter, good commander, and he's intelligent. So he's a good, trusted person. He doesn't really like me, mostly because he's of a different culture and I've just ascended to the throne. So he respected my father, but he really don't think highly of this one-legged 23-year-old young man here. So let's see who we should appoint to the stewardship position. Who shall be our steward? It looks like Major Guinidilda of Caldronia here is the obvious choice. She's decent at stewardship and she's also a strong vassal, so we shall appoint her. And Spymaster. Who shall be Spymaster? My cousin was the former Spymaster. He's the son of my father's brother, my uncle, and he was my father's best and truest and most trusted friend. And Miro here, he doesn't hate us. And if we give him, I actually think I was his guardian. I'm a couple of years older, and I was, when my character here was 16, he was in charge of making Count Miro here into the man he is. So they have a history to build their relation on. And if we give him a seat on the council, he won't hate me anymore. Because if there's one thing you shouldn't do in CK3, unless you want to get your character killed, it is to put someone, to give someone the Spymaster position when they hate you, because then they will probably murder you. Major Anu here, he hates me, and my father disliked him as well, so I suppose that is fitting. But Count Miro, I will trust you with a Spymaster. I hope this won't be a mistake. What about my lifestyle tree? I have a martial education, so that should be the best tree to go down. He has already started it down the gallantry. Let's go with strategy focus and continue down here. It's a chivalrous time in a chivalrous part of the world, so that should be fitting for him to do. And what about my alliances? I am allied to King Ferela of Asturias, right? Because I am betrothed to his daughter. He's a decent ally. And here is his daughter, Infanta Aldarda. She's rowdy, zealous, and humble. She's on a martial education, so in 5 years we will be married, if nothing unfortunate happens along the way. But this, because our father, he couldn't make more alliances, mostly because he already had alliances, and some of them are made by mistake when I started the playthrough. So let's see if we can get some alliances that will further conciliation. I need to form an alliance with involved ruler of a different faith. That will progress conciliation. It won't be much, but anything is better than nothing. Sultan Al-Mundir here of Al-Andalus, he won't marry this sister. Will he marry someone else? This emir here, Ubaid ibn Zadun of Portugal, he's got sizable force and he is willing to marry my sister Galceranda. So I will do that. And the Al-Andalus Sultan, he wasn't too far off agreeing to marry one of my sisters. So maybe if I could improve his opinion of me, can I befriend him? There's a 0% chance of me doing this. What about this one then? Can I befriend him? I mean, I would continue this abducting plan. That he and his sister and his spymaster laid out for my father, you know, abducting people, bringing them to your court, and there forcing them to see what you see, that conciliation is the right way to go, and then release them for the 25 boost. But the success chance is so low, and it will also give me a lot of stress because I'm compassionate. And my last character, he was really overwhelmed with stress. I'm also the culture head, and like my father, I'm gonna continue being fascinated by city planning. I also in this series want to play a tall game mostly, so that's it's good to be able to build cities in the future. Almost everyone I have a 0% chance of being friends with. My father had a much better success chance for most parts, probably because he had better stats than me. The only one around I seem to have any chance of befriending is this Emir ibn Yusuf. He's humble, temperate and trusting. It's probably because we share the temperate trait, because with him I have a 70% chance. And yeah, it's because temperate likes temperate, humble likes compassionate, and trusting likes compassionate. So he likes most of my traits. So that's why. Well, we will try to be friends with him then. Maybe we can get along. And here's a faction. It's an independent faction. It's those rabbinists. It's those Jewish people that my father allowed to settle here. Well, this goes against what I've been trying to to say all through this playthrough, that it is good to be welcoming to others, because now they are there and causing trouble. I don't see why they should be this strong though. That can't be right. They only have this boy here with 243 men as a member. Oh, he wants to be independent. That's stupid of him. Oh yeah, because he is now the count of this. Oh, now I get it. It's not a faction against me. These Sephardi rabbinic populists, they want independence from him. Oh, I get it. Yeah, so if they rise up, I will just march there and crush them. I hope. I thought that was some kind of conspiracy against me. So that's mostly his problem. I hope. Oh, it says he cannot join faction. So who is a member then? Oh, it's just a county, and it is held by my cousin, a spy master here. I don't really get this. If any of you watching do, please enlighten me. Iberia is actually really peaceful at the moment. There are no conflicts anywhere. I suppose that is good for conciliation, but at the same time it was our best way of actually making money. You know, renting our army out to people who were in wars. And it was also a way to capture other rulers and then releasing them for this 25 boost towards conciliation. Here's an event with me and my brother-in-law, this Geofré II. At the end of the field exercise, I had seen a brilliant idea. To practice regrouping an army in disarray, I split my troops and ordered every officer to independently make their way to Barcelona. Of course, by the third day of waiting, but with only half of my army in place, I am now seeing flaws in the plan. Geofré suggests I ride out with a contingent of knights to find the missing troops, while the rest of the army returns home. So I can go, this will be an exciting search and might gain a martial lifestyle perk, or good idea, you're in charge, which will increase his opinion of me. I hope that this isn't some plan of his to have me murdered to put his wife, my sister, on the throne of the Duchy of Barcelona. But I will, he's, even though one-legged, he's still a young man, so he will go for this will be an exciting search. On the march. I can hear an absolute ruckus coming from a roadside tavern. One of my knights kicks open the door, revealing a room full of wayward soldiers. My arrival makes them fall silent and stare down into their tankards with nary a word between them. The proprietor narrows her eyes. So you're responsible for this rabble. So I can pay for the damage my soldiers has caused. 20. Or these men have the right idea. Pour me a drink and join them, which will go against my temperate trait, and I believe also my compassionate trait, but mostly, if according to game, my temperate trait. Or I'm tired of dealing with undisciplined soldiers and lose some stress. Oh, let's being compassionate. I think even though I really don't have much gold, but I think that he feels for this poor proprietor here of this roadside tavern, that his soldiers has caused some damage, the ruckus there. He will pay. Here's another event, and this time I meet someone called Berenguer Renard, House Amador. He's a Mozarabic Catalan like me. As I am passing through a small village, I notice that, though clad in simple cloth, the town's guards are all carrying weapons with my mark on them. Welcoming me in the muddy street was Berenguer Renard, the self-proclaimed divine guardian of the town. My soldiers let down their armor to help this preachers. Is that a word? Preacher? Preachers. It reads, my soldiers let down their armor to help these preachers serve God. Preachers, who sounds like female version of priest, but I'm sure that is not a thing in the English language, isn't it? And even if it was, that's clearly a man there. At least it looks like a man, doesn't it? He is bisexual, but I mean that doesn't change your gender. Sorry, I'm just having a laugh here. I mean, no disrespect to anyone by this. I definitely don't. I'm sure if you've been watching that, you know this by now. This preaches. Duchess preaches. It's probably some kind of typo. This preacher serve God. It probably should be this. Anyway, so I can go with I already rule by divine right, which will decrease my priest's opinion of me because they don't think that God has given me this right to rule, I assume. But it will give me prestige though. Or I can say, you have a day to flee this place, zealot, which will cost me piety. Or they will grow tired of playing holy soldiers soon enough, which will end my search and I will lose stress. Now I think I will spend some piety and have him chase him out of here. You have a day to flee this place, zealot. He's compassionate zealot, so we should get along, I think, if we got to know each other. Although I'm not a zealot, I'm also compassionate, but this is not an option to get to know this. Berenguer Renard. So you have a day to flee this place, zealot. And here I meet Major Anor, my vassal, who hates me. When my outriders brought news of the little encampment, I did not expect to find the soldiers still practicing their battle formations. It seems that my vassal, Major Anor, took it upon himself to continue the field exercise while waiting for word from the main army. His troops line up neatly as I ride up to meet him. I can say, those were not orders I gave. Or, what is this shoddy stance? That is no way to hold a sword. Or, take the men home, Anor, I'm tired of searching. And this last one will end my search. So I can insult Major Anor and have him hate me even more. This man will probably try to start a plot to murder me. sure of this. He's also sadistic and wrathful, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's gonna start plotting against me after this. But I will go with those were not orders I gave. I don't have a high opinion of Major Arnaud either, because my father disliked him, and I would have heard what my father said about this incompetent man. He really hates me now. And here it is, on the march. Approaching the ocean, I spot a camp pitched on its shores. As I enter it, I am met by the sergeant in charge. My lord, our water stores leaked while on the move, and our pack animals cannot make the march home without more water than we currently have. The soldiers looks at me nervously. If the lord and his knights helped carry water skins, however, so they need my help doing some physical labor. I can spend prestige and help them, or get stress by saying the men will march and they will march now. It goes against my compassionate trait. Or end my search, lose stress and return home. Or go with I think I can come up with a solution for this. And this last one is because I have this military engineer trait. That sounds good. I will use this skill to find the best solution. The last of my troops have made it back to Barcelona, and order has been restored. Though this was hardly a display of military brilliance, I have gained a new perspective on my army and the individual soldiers of which it is composed. It was a valuable exercise after all, and I unlocked a martial lifestyle perk. That's good. Let's see what we can unlock with this. A knight's effectiveness is always good. Maybe, no, look at this. Promising prospects. Marriage acceptance. Maybe that will mean I can get those alliances I wanted to get. Now, Sultan Al-Mundir, thief slayer of Andalus. Will you marry my sister? She is also intelligent. He will not accept. Why not? I have too many existing alliances. She's marrying down, that's fair. And but too many existing alliances. When does this penalty kick in? I have 2. But still, I don't really like this. Will he marry some of his... Does he have any sons? What about this one? Oh, that's even less likely. So that was a waste. Well, maybe it can be useful later. No, I mean, my father made this mistake that he was in such a hurry to get alliances that he made them as soon as they were available, at least at the start of this series. And that cost him later down the line when he was stuck with bad alliances, and he could have gotten better ones, but they wouldn't do it because he already had too many. So let's wait with that. This promising prospect, I'm sure it will help us later when as the game progresses. Here's my befriend scheme with Emir Ibn Yusuf. Considering my life's deeds, it is only natural that others should respect me. I am convinced Emir Yidel has also accomplished a thing or two, which fills him with pride. Perhaps I should commission a small poem comparing our deeds to illustrate that we are both cut from the same cloth. I can try to impress him with my feats, which will increase the scheme power, or increase his opinion of me by focusing on his accomplishments, or I will make sure everyone hears about my greatness, which will increase my prestige gain. It seems the better choice to try to increase his opinion of me by focus on his accomplishments. I think this will increase my scheme power though. I'm really not sure what is best. Increased scheme power or him having a higher opinion of me. Well, I will go for this one. It seems like the most fitting choice. There's nothing to say that he would be a boastful man. Band of Lost Birds. Here's Jaime, a wandering evil ravener. A wounded and disillusioned mercenary group has arrived at the county of Sardinia. The locals claim to have overheard talk of settling down after pillaging an easy target and have begun to grow anxious. Tensions are high and conflict is likely to arise if I do not intervene in the matter. So I can offer them a position at the city garrison, which will cost me a lot of gold, implore them to leave with a diplomacy challenge, or force them out of the city, or let the locals handle it. I'll do this martial challenge. I am martially educated man, and I'm compassionate and vengeful, so forcing them out of the city will be a compassionate revenge for them pillaging and stirring up trouble. I have a 75% chance of succeeding with this. And mercenary threat subdued. County of Sardinia gained local garrison using elite tactics for 5 years. That's good. I think it will increase the defenses here. It's unlikely that will ever be useful, but you never know. Someone might try to siege this. Countess Belia died. She was my father's friend, or one of his many friends. She was an independent count here, and she is now it is her daughter, Countess Batul, who is ruling. Right. This hasn't moved much last couple of months, which is good, I suppose, because every time it moved, hostilities seemed to increase and get further and further ahead. So my sister married this man, Ahmad ibn Muhammad, and it means I formed an alliance with the Sheikh of Iberia here. That's not really good, because it will give me, well, I suppose I got these 3 progress towards conciliation from it. Yeah, I got +3, which is better than nothing, but still it gave me an alliance that is not the best one, and that will make it harder for me to get good alliances. But that was something that my father arranged, and so I could have broken off the betrothal, but for one, I didn't think about it, and secondly, this is roleplay, and I don't think that you have to be effective with this. It's really not good to try to roleplay, because it's hard to justify most of the things here. This has been the longest period of peace in Iberia ever since I started. There's really no wars, no conflicts at all on the entire Iberian Peninsula, which I suppose is great. Maybe my father did manage with something, even though it's not reflected in here so much, because there's been peace for years now. Too bad this isn't reflected in this, because there really should be something that reflected that in both directions. If there's wars all over, it will increase hostility, but if there's peace and quiet, it could increase conciliation. Maybe that would just break the mechanic. I don't know, but it seems like years of peace would make it more likely that conciliation could be reached. Here's some conflict. It is this Sultan here, Sultan Al-Mundir, the thief slayer of Al-Andalus. He is attacking Al-Sark in a clash, which means I think that he's trying to take the bordering counties. Looks kind of even, because he has more allies. So what can we do with this situation? We could try to rent our army out, that's one choice. Or we could take advantage of the situation and conquer these lands from Al-Sark. Most of these lands are part of the Shore Duchy, and it's also a part of the Kingdom of Aragon that I've been wanting to form. Of course, going to war would not be in line with our strive for conciliation. But on the other hand, decades of a peaceful Barcelona who wasn't attacking its neighbor hasn't really done much. So maybe Geofré here would think that a stronger Barcelona could do more. Because I think declaring a war and winning it will go be some hostility here. Win a war you started against another involved ruler. It will give 3 progress towards hostility. That's really not much. Whereas if we do declare war and during the war manage to capture him or any one of his vassals really, if we meet them in battle and we capture them and then release them, this will give us 25 boost towards conciliation. So really it's going to war can actually be a method of very effectively boosting conciliation. Release an involved ruler, 25 progress. So if we just manage to do one of them, we could boost conciliation. And there's also other gamey stuff we can do if we manage to win the war. We can raise a local noble here, give him the country, and then grant him independence. That's not a part of our de jure duchy. So really that could be the most effective way. His force is similar to ours. Can we declare war on him? Oh, it's border raid I haven't seen. I haven't even noticed this CB. Maybe I should look into that as well. It could be I won't gain any land from it, but I will gain gold. And maybe it's also an opportunity to catch some prisoners. I need a lot more prestige if I am to do this struggle clash. It would be good though, because it would give us these 2 counties that are part of the shore Barcelona, so we want them. They are rightfully ours. And we would also get this, and at some point it could be fun to form Aragon or try to look into the things you can do with the Basque culture. I think there are some interesting stuff you can do with Basque culture, but we need more prestige for that. But he's not in the war though, so who is he? Oh, he's attacking. Right, he's not attacking Al-Salkir, he's attacking Tula, the man I'm trying to befriend, trying to conquer their lands. And he is allied with these people here. So maybe he might accept my army. And it will be a good way to get 100 gold, and maybe I can also get some prestige if I take part in battles, and maybe even some rulers imprisoned to release. There's a lot to think about, and I really need to think about it and try to, if I'm gonna have any chance of achieving conciliation. I've almost given up. I almost gave up with my last ruler, because whatever I did, it seemed that hostility was always getting ahead, and the gap was only increasing. I suppose there's a bit of a RNG to this as well. It much depends on what other people do. So if you're really lucky, other people around you will do things that's in line with what you want to achieve, and if you're unlucky, they will do more of the other. But a lot to think about for young Duke Geofré II of Barcelona. But at least it's been good to have peace here for a couple of years, getting our realm in order, stuff. How is our military looking? It's not nearly as good as when my father ruled. Well, I will think about this in the coming week, and during that time I hope my Norse Viking House Corp role-playing storytelling Let's Play will be uploaded daily. I am still enjoying doing this, which means that I'm gonna keep on uploading content as often as I can. If you want to encourage me to continue, a great way to do so is by showing your support by a like and a subscribe. It's really it feels good to see that there are a few people out there watching my stuff and enjoying it enough to click the subscribe button. So if you're watching and enjoying, please consider subscribe and like. Thank you for watching this. Goodbye.